4 here at the final. So we get underway with the 19-year-old from Japan, Nobunari Oda, the silver medalist from the Japanese Nationals last year. There's his number, 69.15, not far off, really. 11.6 points off the lead and less than 3 out of third place right now. He had that great win to kick off the year at Skate America in Hartford and then won the silver medal at the NHK Trophy in his home country of Japan to earn his trip here to St. Petersburg. Paul, as Oda gets underway, just a thought about the American men. I think Johnny Weir is very good for this sport. He makes it interesting, and that's a big part of figure skating. But as a fan, I feel a bit cheated that I haven't seen his best this year.
Well, in this sport, you're always falling, and you've got to get up and tough it out if you are in a situation like this, I think. Oda opening up with a 3-jump combination there, triple axel, triple toe, double loop, 13 points. You're learning one way or another, either to tough it out or to give in to it. And I think that it's important to work through things. Interesting spin position here. Oda really working the points. And you remember from NHK, Oda and his countryman Daisuke Takahashi had 2 of the highest scores ever posted. Notice the clock in the top left corner of your screen. That tells you that the halfway mark of the program has passed, and the jumps that come after this point will receive a 10% bonus. In fact, Oda has a triple axel coming up.
You mentioned the 2 Japanese men in this event. The Japanese ladies get all the hype, all the headlines, but with Oda, Daisuke Takahashi, if I took you back 5 years and said there would be no Russian man at the Grand Prix final, and you'd be left without any Americans here skating for the gold medal, you'd say, no way, no chance.
It is incredible how the sport has changed, and it's because of those kind of jumps that Oda has propelled himself. That beautiful triple axel, the great knee, but also the style. Takahashi and Oda have really embraced becoming a full package, not just about the jumps, like Japanese skaters from my era, but much more about everything, interpreting the music, reaching the audience, doing spin positions like that. It's exciting to see different faces come on the scene and different countries emerging as powers. Great use of his edges here, his footwork. It's programmed to Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 4, choreographed by David Wilson. A very serious program for a 19-year-old who skated to Fly Me to the Moon in the short program. Final jump here, double axel. A little turned out there. Otherwise, his jumping has been incredible in this program, and spinning. What I think you miss on television is just how fast he skates across the ice. He is by far one of the fastest skaters in the world today.
And he has matured in the years since, remember that great moment when he was crying, the emotions coming out after he won the NHK trophy last year in his hometown. Much more mature skater and presence on the ice now.
And this opening combination was excellent. High triple axel, beautiful air position, gets a great ride out there. He doesn't lose any speed. In fact, I think he gains it in that 3-jump combination, which was worth 13 points. And in his combination spin, you can see the position and the change of edge at the same time. Now pulling up that, all of those adding features. The technical specialists will be counting the number of revolutions so that they get the full revolution to give it credit. And here at the end, the one mistake that he made in the program, the double axel, he gets a little bit off onto the outside and just, you know, a little bit tired, maybe not paying attention.
Yeah, just to revisit that for a moment, the technical specialist decides what he did. The judges decide how he did it, how well he did it. Technical elements, 75-71. Program components, an even 72. And so 147.71, well off his personal best. And don't know that he could be looking at the gold medal right now, but certainly a place on the podium. Only 4 skaters here, and he was less than 3 out of 3rd place when he took the ice for his free skate. We'll see. Still to come, Elban Preobert. No one expected him to make it to St. Petersburg. Couple of medals in the series brought him here. His countryman, Brian Joubert, the 2-time world silver medalist, still to come as well. Getting set to go from France. In 3rd place after the short program, 71.63. And Paul, you go back to the start of the year. Everyone talked at Skate America about his short program, the B, trying to catch the fly and all. But he really turned that around in the perception. He won a bronze medal there, then a silver medal at Grand Prix of Paris, and here he is in St. Petersburg. People started to talk about his skating.
And the reason they started to talk about his skating was because he's delivered on the jumps and the spins and these programs that are a lot of fun. He did a clean short here. And remember, he's pushed through a back injury that kept him off the ice for his own nationals. Triple, triple. Coming up, a 3-jump combination. Triple axel. Nicely done.
I think he's also proof this season, Paul, that while many people say there isn't enough time in between the elements to really bring a character to life on the ice under the new scoring system, you can still do that.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's about music selection and choreography. This particular program is choreographed by Nikolai Morozov. He uses music from The Mask and Austin Powers. Fall there on the triple axel. And I was a little concerned about Preobert's conditioning because he took 2 weeks off for the injury, but still to push it through is important. Getting a little bit tired here. Last jumping pass there, triple Salchow. Great effort by Alban Prix. He had one fall on the triple axel, one pop jump, but he reminds us that skating at its very heart is fun.
As coach Annick Dumont on the side there had some fun during that performance. Prix, 2 medals through the series. Did he have enough gas in the tank at the end to hold on for one here? Daisuke Takahashi, who posted the 3rd highest score ever at the NHK Trophy, is next. Dolphins, Mike Tirico and the guys in the booth working Christmas on ESPN. Alban Prix, curtain call. Great reception, Paul, throughout the Grand Prix, wherever he's gone. You see the numbers right there. So currently in 2nd place. So we move on to another skater after we saw Oda open up the show from Japan. Daisuke Takahashi, 2nd after the short program, right behind Brian Joubert. And it's very close, 0.76 points. So less than a point separating Joubert, who has the lead, from Takahashi, the 20-year-old who is the Japanese national champ.
Without Weir in this competition, he is the most artistic skater we'll see. But the first 3 jumping passes will tell the story. He has a quad and 2 triple axels planned, and he needs everything. Quad toe, 4 revolutions. He held on to it. Note, even between these difficult jumps, he's artistic. He's using his hands and his face to express the music. Triple axel. So far, so good. This triple axel in combination. Perfect first 3. It bodes well.
Takahashi also not 100%. Came in fighting the flu. He's had stomach cramps.
Takahashi's really known for his footwork, the edginess of it, the quickness of his feet, the ability to turn multiple directions. He posted the 3rd highest score ever at the NHK Trophy just weeks ago. 247.93, that's gigantic.
Interesting that between the 2 French skaters and the 2 Japanese skaters, there are connections off the ice. Prix, friends with Joubert. They trained together this summer for some time. And Oda and Takahashi both are university students at the same university.
And if you want to go even a step further, you got Morozov choreographing both Prix programs and Takahashi's programs. But that's maybe a little too inside.
I'll accept that.
And you can see by the look on his face that he is not feeling well, which is particularly problematic in this program because he has 5 triples planned after the halfway mark strategically, but it's just so difficult from a stamina point of view. He's doing great though. I was wondering how that spin might affect him. And when you're turning and you're looking down like that, it does make you dizzy anyway. But if you have the flu, you might want to get off.
How long does it take you as a skater when you start training again, for example, for the season or if there's been a layoff, where you do those spins and you don't get dizzy?
A good week anyway. But that's without the flu, and you can really see him, his arms are dropping, and he is just going through the motions on this footwork, which is too bad, because he was the first to get a level 4 in the footwork sequences. He's totally known for it. A great effort, though, to push through, to do the first 3 elements, the quad, the triple axles, and then to go with those 5 jumps after the halfway mark as well. That is going to serve him throughout the season.
It's been a long, difficult season, and it is in general for skaters these days. They look at the Americans withdrawing here. Prix has the back injury. Takahashi has the flu, but he got through it. Went the entire distance, 4.5 minutes. We'll see what the judges think in a moment.
The quad toe here, the reach back there, little tilted in the air. He holds on to it. It's a great fight for that edge. And then here, the triple flip, triple toe loop. Again, a little tilted in the air, but he's toughing it out, getting the rotation done. To the outside edge and then into this. You can see him looking down here. And if you ever did a stick race, you know, where you take the little baseball bat and turn around, you know what that feels like. The straight line forward, you can just see the wheels coming off here, struggling with his edges. Usually this is very quick, precise movement.
Yeah, it's a halftime show at NBA games, right? With the baseball bat out there. Can't run a straight line. Here are the numbers, and remember what he did, 163.49 at NHK. It won't be anywhere near that. Nikolai Morozov trying to help him out in the kiss and cry. So 144.84. He was in second place after the short program. Now he has the lead over Nobunari Oda. Alban Prelbert currently in 3rd place. But it's up now to the 2-time world silver medalist. And over the protests of some of the female members of our crew, he will have a shirt on when he takes the ice.
I have a goal. I want to be the best. Men skaters have to be strong. They have to give a lot of power on the jumps, on the footwork, on everything. The future of the figure skating, it's not the triple jumps, it's the quad. When I do a triple flip or triple lutz, I don't think about the triple, I think about the quad.
On the ice, Ryan Joubert.
When I come on the ice, I'm very confident. So I think everybody feel it. In France, all girls like figure skating. They like me physically, you know. I don't know what you say, my face, and I like it.
Yeah, Peter, that's great. And Brian Joubert, many expected him to move away from home, go to Paris to train. He hasn't done that. Still in Poitiers. Wants to be at home with his family. Here he is, his 4th competition in 5 weeks. You know, the Grand Prix of Paris, Cup of Russia, the French Nationals, and now the Grand Prix final here in St. Petersburg. The leader after the short program with a total of 80.75 points. That was just a little less than a point ahead.
The confidence he was talking about inspires consistency, has given him a tremendous string of victories. The Cup of Russia, he landed 3 quads in a program. The first attempt, quad here, quad toe, hand down, just like the short program, double toe combination. The second quad plan is a different quad, a quad Salchow, takes off the backward inside edge. He changes it to a triple. That's his right.
Do you think that was a planned change?
It looked pretty smooth, pretty planned, yes. I don't think he thinks he needs it at this point. Triple axel. That was easy. Lots of changes in Joubert's approach. He's got a new coach, Jean-Christophe Simon, 2-time European silver medalist himself. His dream is to be the first Frenchman to win Worlds since 1965, and that coveted Olympic gold in Vancouver.
Mentioned the coaching change. He's had 4 different coaches over the last year plus or so. And earlier this season, he and Alban Preaubert became the first duo to stand on the podium together at a Grand Prix event. That was in Paris.
Second quad after the halfway point, so it earns a bonus. Turned out of that. Very difficult just to keep that stamina together. If you're a Metallica fan, you may recognize this music. It's Metallica music performed by the Finnish chamber music group called Apocalyptica. Choreographed by Kurt Browning.
What do you think our colleague, Mr. Browning, has brought out in Joubert's skating?
Well, Brian himself said that he taught him to use his entire body. And I think that he's given him a lot of awareness in his feet and in his arms. And I really think that he's given him a lot more flexibility. His spins have also really improved. He's been gaining the higher levels, really paying attention to that. Every piece of Brian Joubert's performance has been on the rise this season. This was not as good as his performance at the Cup of Russia, but still, remember, 2 quads attempted, little mistakes here and there, but I'd say he is a dominant force in the sport right now.
His mom liked it, as you might expect. Yeah, it wasn't what we saw at Cup of Russia, but it's almost impossible to have that peak performance every time out throughout the season. And I'm not sure overall anyone really challenges Brian Joubert for the top spot right now in skating.
Quad toe, double toe here. You can see him put that hand down just slightly. Just not enough speed maybe going into it. A little tentative. And then the triple sow, which was supposed to be a quad, but beautiful air position. You know, as he mentions, he's thinking of quads when he's doing triples. So easy for him. And here, the second quad toe after the halfway mark, deep into the program. A little loose in the air, so he's not getting the rotation that he may need. So that is just that extra little eighth of a turn that's making him step out of that. Plushenko's probably the only one who can take him on at this point.
He's off having fun right now, not skating competitively at least. 76.51, there are the numbers. The 1-point mandatory deduction, 152.71. So not his personal best, but clearly good enough to top Daisuke Takahashi. And what you really wished you could have seen is the performance from Takahashi at NHK against a performance from Joubert at Cup of Russia. That would have been a heck of a matchup. Neither one put his best foot forward here in St. Petersburg, but Joubert, who skates away with the gold medal, he wins by more than 8 points over Daisuke Takahashi. Nobunari Oda finishes 3rd, and Alban Preaubert ends up in 4th. Peter Carruthers is with the champ. Inouye Baldwin of the U.S., the upstarts in many ways, trying to make it to the podium, as we said. They would be the first from the U.S. But on the ice, Alyona Savchenko and Robin Zolkawe from Germany. She's 22, he's 27. They came in 3rd at the Cup of China and won the gold medal at Cup of Russia.
Beautiful opening throw, triple flip, very difficult, showing great control.
Savchenko and Zolkawe struggled with their side-by-side jumps in the short program. Very clean side-by-side triple toe loops. It's followed up by another one, beautiful. Alyona has complained of an injury to her hip. Seems to be going around. Innovative entrance into lasso lift here. This team very compelling for the entrances and exits of everything they do. Trying new things. Sometimes they work and sometimes they're awkward, but
Susie, Paul talked about this team being known for its innovation. Where do those ideas come from as a skater?
The experimentation during practice. Trying to blend these elements in a unique way. They have great skill in terms of their flexibility, their musicality, and so I would think that this is a team that gravitates towards creativity within their practice sessions. And when you look at American skaters like Inoue and Baldwin, they tend to be more athletic. I think what they do in practice is how can we push the technical limits of jumps and lifts, whereas this team takes on even more than that.
His final move, pair spin, goes in 2 different directions, adding a difficult feature, interesting positions.
What I love about this team is that with the new rules, and there's so many rules, they still can come up with unique movement that's unpredictable.
Well, this is the team that would keep the Americans off the podium here at the Grand Prix final. Alyona Savchenko and Robin Solkawi currently in 4th place after the short program, 0.3 of a point behind the Americans.
The opening throw, a triple flip off the inside edge here. Beautiful height. She checks out at just the right time. Great stretch with her free leg there. And where they'd had trouble in the short program, they excelled in this one. The side-by-side triple toes in sequence, very strong, the first one, and then she goes right into it for the second one. This was very important at the beginning of the program. It got everything started.
And the only problem in the program here was in the side-by-side double axel. She singles, isn't able to complete the rotation, loses timing.
We'll see how much that will cost them. There's their coach, Ingo Stoja, who was a world champ himself with Mandy Wurzel back in '97. Technical elements in the 60s, less than that for the program components, the old artistic mark. So the total for the team from Germany, 121.85. Not their personal best, but not too far from that. And remember, a slight deficit after the short, right behind Inoue and Baldwin. So they're your leaders, at least for the moment. Coming up next, the 2-time U.S. champs, Rena Inoue and John Baldwin Jr. Snowball Gordon, he played for the Bulls back in the 70s. Remember him, Susie? Check out the standings for the pairs after the short program. Shen and Zhao with the lead by, 4.5 points or so over Zhang and Zhang. Inoue and Baldwin, though, right there in the mix. Savchenko and Solkawi, we just saw them. So right now, in terms of the free skate, they're on top. But Rena Inoue and her partner, John Baldwin Jr., set to go. And for John Baldwin Jr., it has been a long road to this point. Back when the Bee Gees were actually in for the first time. 95, the U.S. Nationals. John Baldwin as a single skater. He skated in 14 U.S. National Championships as a single skater. 9th place overall that year. Very nice hanging on to it. And yes, Mr. Button was at that event calling the action and commenting on John's skating.
Hey, good for you, John Baldwin. And there's his father, John Baldwin Sr., who competed here the last time the Nationals were in Providence in 1974.
Some good graphics back then, Susan. Yeah, he made the transition to pair skating. Of course, he said he couldn't keep up with the quads. He's done awfully well. They've made a bit of history, this team has. Rena Inouye, John Baldwin Jr. now trying to become the first U.S. pairs team to medal at the Grand Prix final. Hard to believe that hasn't happened, but right now they're in third place after the short.
The opening side-by-side jumps, very important. They've struggled with them in the past. They had a fall in the short program in their signature throw triple axel. So those two moves are going to be very important for them to hit in order to make the podium. Side-by-side triple toe loops. He doubled it. That'll be scored as a double.
Showing wonderful unison on the first part of this combination spin, an area of improvement for them.
The last time they were at the Grand Prix final was 2 years ago in 05, the 04-05 season, and they came in last, sixth in a field of 6. This year, though, the gold medal at Skate America and then 2 silver medals. A team that's very much progressed over the last couple of seasons.
You can really credit Peter Oppegaard, former Olympic bronze medalist, with that polish, their coach. They've really made strides in so many ways. Their training has improved.
Don't you think, Paul, there was some cynicism when he decided to switch from singles to pair skating?
Well, I think he's dispelled all of that with the success that he's had, if there was any. And by making history with the first throw triple axel, and here is that move. 3.5 revolutions. Oh, she almost had it. So difficult to hold that edge.
That was supposed to be a throw triple loop. It looked like John caught an edge and aborted mission. Timing so crucial on the throws that you have to play it safe if it's not quite right.
But you lose a lot of points by leaving an element like that on the table. Started off with the double toe loop side by side, and then the mistake on the throw triple loop, the step out on the triple axel. I don't know if that's going to be enough to take them to the podium. That's disappointing.
It's a big miss, that throw triple loop. As you said, you don't get any of the credit for that.
Well, it started here, and you can, if you watch her, she does it, but John rushes the takeoff there and does the double toe loop. That was the first area where they lost points. And then here, the throw triple axel, she has a nice air position. Just a little bit on the heel there, though. She needs to be right over the ball of her skate.
And going into their throw triple loop, quite smooth, but watch John's feet here. As he's turning through the air and trying to lift her in the air, his foot was caught, and they weren't able to even get it off the ground.
It was caught on her boot, as a matter of fact.
Their feet so close.
Yeah, they collided. So now, is it going to be enough? Remember, Savchenko and Zokawi ahead of them right now, waiting for these numbers. Will they remain there? Yeah, look at how dejected John looks there. The shake of the head, Peter Oppegaard with them, 107.65, not nearly enough. So, Inouye and Baldwin currently in second place. Going to have to wait and see if the Chinese teams just fall apart. But right now, it does not look good. Don and Hao Zhang, all the drama at the Olympics last year, and then the silver medal, they're next. And still to come, the battle of the 16-year-olds, Mawasada and Yuna Kim. The ladies still to skate here at the Grand Prix final in St. Petersburg. Let's see in Michigan out in the Rose Bowl as we continue here with the pairs free skate. Don and Hao Zhang, the Olympic silver medalist. Perhaps no country or no discipline has really been taken over like we've seen from the Chinese in the last 10 years or so. Here at the Grand Prix final, look at this. Russia has won almost 50% of the overall medals in the history of this event. They've won more than 50% of the gold medals. The U.S. with 19, you see, but that's all changing. There are only 2 teams in this entire event, all 4 disciplines, from Russia who qualified for the final. China's certainly the leader in pairs, and the Zhangs, 21 years of age and 22 respectively. They are the 2003 Chinese champs. Won Skate Canada, came in second at the NHK Trophy.
Zhangs, of course, known for their explosive athleticism. Open with a gigantic triple twist.
And where they tend to be inconsistent is in the side-by-side jumps, side-by-side triple toe. He is so much stronger than she is on these landings.
Now, Paul, why would he go ahead and do his jump when it was clear she couldn't?
Well, you're trained to just keep going and keep pacing through the program. But I think, honestly, he probably thought maybe what happens if she gets up and does a double, then at least we get credit for that. Throw triple Salchow. Remember, they're capable of a quad Salchow. Beautiful stretch in the free leg there.
I hate to play 20 questions, but if they're capable, why don't we see it?
I think when she's on her own, her individual skating is so much weaker than his. You can see it in the stroking. She tends to put 2 feet down as she strokes. I just think she has to become more powerful on her own.
And that would go to why they don't do the quad Salchow, because it just takes so much out of her. She's worried about risking injury. very powerful skaters, powerful lifts and throws, but unison and some side-by-side mistakes really take it down a notch.
Don Jane clearly laboring, and don't you think physically she's got to get stronger for them to take it to the next level?
I do. I think that she relies on his strength so much within the pair moves, but individually, it's hard for her to handle landings and spins and that control.
You know, they have the talent, you know they have the heart after their comeback last year at the Olympics, but do they have the endurance? Does she have the endurance? Continue throughout.
Well, this throw triple twist, watch the entrance, a difficult little dance lift, and then the pick in. Watch the height and the coordination of power, and her landing positions are exceptional in terms of the extension of the leg. And this is where you can see her weakness. She's not able to get the left leg out, the free leg out on the landing. There's not enough height in her jumps. He goes on to land the second triple toe, exceptional. She picks up there.
And another example of her weakness here, not being able to hold her body closed in the death spiral. They had a similar mistake in the short program where she was wobbly. And you can just tell that something's going on there.
Now the kiss and cry waiting for the numbers. Remember, they were in second place, 4.5 points or so behind their countryman, Shannon Zhao. 1 point deduction for the fall, mandatory, 111.75. So they're currently in second. That's not even good enough to lead right now. Savchenko and Zokawi retain the lead by almost 5 points over the Chinese. That is a big upset. Aliona Savchenko pumped about that. They're on top. They could win the gold medal here at the final. Big hump to get over, though. Shannon Zhao, the two-time world champs. It's one of the many outdoor markets here just off of Nevsky Prospect. Susie Wynn dancing along with the music. Nice Christmas tune here. Normally, though, it's just covered with snow. It's unseasonably warm in St. Petersburg this Christmas time. Pick up some great gifts for back home, though.
С Новым годом, Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you, too. Shannon Zhao. You look at the numbers this season, the best ones. Zhang and Zhang, 190.97. We just saw them struggle a moment ago. Savchenko and Zokawi are ahead of them here in the free skate. So we're down to the final team. And it's Shui Shen, Hongbo Zhao, one of the top teams for many years on the pairs scene. The two-time world champs this season, undefeated. They won Cup of China, they won the NHK trophy, and they've also won their last 8 events in the Grand Prix series. They've dominated this series. Four times the winners of the Grand Prix final. And here's an amazing number for you in terms of Shen and Zhao. They have skated 32 times in the Grand Prix series. They have won 28 medals. 18 of those have been gold.
The beauty and the strength, you just run out of superlatives. You have to let it speak for itself.
Two gold medals in this series this year, but Susie, I think this was their top performance.
Absolutely. This program had everything: the strength, the flow, the charisma, the connection with each other and with the audience.
Sui Shen and Hongbo Zhao from China. As we take a look at an Ole ice move.
Triple twist. Beautiful air position. The arms straight over her head. And then the axel lasso lift entered from the spread eagle, changing into the star position. Very quick turning, very secure on his feet. And then the dismount, also innovative. A little twist of her head there.
And later in the program, the strength in this throw triple loop. Watch the power that she has on those landing positions and the flow in and out of each move. And the throw triple sow, a different entrance than the loop.
And thanking the crowd here, just as the fans in the Ice Palace seem to be thanking Shen and Zhao. Even though it is a Russian crowd, it took them a long time to quiet down here. Appreciating that effort. The numbers extremely high. 134.53. Certainly more than they needed to get the gold medal. And they just figured out now, and they're on top once again. In fact, overall, over 200 points, and only the third time that we have seen that happen. Shen and Zhao have done it twice. Tomiana and Marina, and the other pairs team to do that. Your final results. The Chinese win again, 203.19. Savchenko and Zokawi, the silver medal ahead of Zhang and Zhang. Inoue and Baldwin settle for fourth. Petrov and Tikhonov don't make the podium. It's the first time that a Russian team has not medaled in pairs at the Grand Prix final. Meanwhile, elegance, grace, and drama. Three frontrunners compete for the title. Coming up next, the free dance from St. Petersburg. It is extremely close. And here are the Americans. In sixth place with a score of 52.84, Melissa Gregory and Denis Petchikov, the three-time U.S. silver medalist. Melissa from Chicago. Denis, back in his original home country. He's from Kirov, Russia. They won a couple of silver medals this year in the series.
Free dance, they're telling the story of Adam and Eve. It's beautifully choreographed, and the music was specially composed just for them. Twizzle turns a required element along with 4 dance lifts, 2 footwork sequences, and a dance spin.
Susie, here at the final, there are only 2 phases of the competition for the ice dancers, the original dance and the free dance. You don't have the compulsory dance as a part of it. It's one of the reasons that it is so tight. Gregory and Pechikov, for example, 6th place heading to the free dance, but just a little more than 7.5 points out of first place.
What's been exciting about watching the ice dancing this season, it just seems like all the teams are going for the highest levels of difficulty in all of their elements, and it's hard to separate. It's really the team that takes their concept, their music, their idea, their storyline, and presents it the best way.
That being said, no matter what you do with a scoring system, it is subjective at some point.
And that will never change,
right,
no matter how many judging systems we go through. They have improved so much to me. They have a dramatic flair, a confidence, and aggressiveness in their pushing and in their
name when you write in. Meanwhile, in the kiss and cry, Gregory and Pechikov of the U.S. with their well-known coaches, Natalia Linichuk and Gennady Karponosov, champions as well from Russia. Been in the U.S. for some time coaching, though. 83.10 is the total for their free dance. There is no compulsory dance, remember, so it's the OD and the free dance added together, and they are your current leaders. However, the top names still to come, including the Russians on home ice here at the Ice Palace in St. Petersburg. Oksana Domnina and Maxim Shabalin, one of only 2 teams in all the disciplines from Russia to earn their way into the top 6 throughout the regular season, if you will, the Grand Prix Series. Petrov and Tikhonov did it in pairs. But here are Domnina and Shabalin currently in 3rd place. Remember how close it is at the top. They are less than half a point out of the lead.
They are a very striking couple. They have beautiful leg line, so a lot of the shapes that they're able to make carry a lot of impact. Wonderful leg line in unison within that leg line. And their diagonal step sequence.
Oksana is 22 years of age from Kirov, Russia. Maxime, 24, from Samara. Over the past 2 seasons, they have won 3 medals in the Grand Prix series, including their gold this year at Cup of China.
Great flow and endurance at the end of their program. Total commitment in each move. And their final rotational lift. Fast and skilled. This is a team to watch out for. They are dangerous. They have excellent skill, beautiful skating quality. And you can they want to be on the top. You can just sense it. There's full commitment in everything they do.
Not unlike Navka and Kostomarov heading into the last Olympic Games. The year before that, or 2 years before that, everyone was talking about them, but they were still a little bit under the radar screen.
Well, they are on the radar screen now. Dancers beware. This is a team that's totally committed. They're so talented. I think they're more gifted than Navka and Kostomarov. They don't rely on shtick. They rely on movement like this straight line lift. Watch the arch through her back. She has incredible flexibility. He has wonderful control. And then they work into a rotational lift. This is a combination lift. It can only last 10 seconds. So many of the coaches are ringside with their stopwatches. And these are twizzle turns, turns on one foot. They rotate it 4 times, making it more difficult, and then changing the hand. And then the free position. He struggled with this in the last Grand Prix event. And there's serpentine lift. Watch her split position. He rides on one curve, a deep inside curve. She changes hold through her foot, showing a Bielmann position. He rides on the outside curve. Something always happening, and they manage all those changes superbly.
It's amazing because we continue to see the depth in ice dance in Russia and in pairs whittled away, but there's always a team, one team that carries the banner. This could be it. There are the numbers. High 40s for both the technical elements and the program components. That is very good. 96.17. Domnina and Shabalin into the lead at home in Russia. A reason to celebrate, but just for the moment, because up next, Albina Denkova and Maxime Stavisky, the world champs. Back here in St. Petersburg, where earlier we saw the Zhangs from China come in 3rd in the pairs competition. And Don Zhang, we saw at the end of the program laboring a bit. It was tough getting off the ice. And we do have some news to report now on her condition. With that is Peter Carruthers. Peter?
Terry, I just spoke to the Chinese team leader, and he said that during Dan Zhang's performance, she was experiencing a racing heart, chills, and numbness in her fingers. As soon as she got off the ice, she saw the doctor. The doctor sent her right to the hospital, and this is very uncharacteristic of her because she is so tough. You can't forget about the Olympics when she crashed into the boards, got up, recovered, and finished her program. We'll have to wait to see what happens.
All right, Peter, it's a good point to make. I mean, we saw her come back into Reno, so if she went to the hospital, you know they were a bit concerned. And we'll keep you updated on that situation. Meanwhile, on the ice in the free dance, Albena Denkova, Maxim Stavisky from Bulgaria. They are the world champs, but they're playing a little catch-up right now. They're in second place heading into the free dance, but just 0.3 of a point out of the lead.
This team always brings originality and an assertive quality, no holding back. Their story, she personifies good and light, he personifies evil and darkness.
Why does the guy always get the evil part?
And that's a good question. And the voice in the background is Latin for the 7 deadly sins. Beautiful dance spin because it's fast. They have great control as they transition.
This situation here at the final indicative of the way it's gone throughout the year. Unlike last year when there was a clear favorite, Navkin Kostomarov from Russia. This year, it's wide open, and the Bulgarians have won 2 gold medals in the series coming in. Debray and Lausanne from Canada, who are the leaders right now, have won 2 gold medals in the series.
What makes them great, aside from what I mentioned earlier, is there's a certainty in their footing. Their placement, their edging is so secure that allows them to really be expressive in their upper bodies, more so than the teams we've seen so far. Each performance through this series, we've seen them improve their performance Now their next goal is to win the European Championships and go on to win the Worlds again, and I think they're well on their way.
Besides the difficulty of what they do, the other thing, they always bring just some cool moves, aesthetically
Exactly.
pleasing images on the ice. Albina Denkova, Maxim Stavisky from Bulgaria.
This lift is difficult. Watch how he's holding onto her foot, and then she sort of rotates within that position. So many teams would not be able to do that because of the control that it takes, the balance, the timing. That makes them special. And this spin was special as well because of the speed. Watch their feet. It's well centered. She shows flexibility. And just the speed stands out to me. And their combination lift, the foot placement, he's on one foot. Very hard to do a 1 foot lift going forward. Your blade's vulnerable. You could fall onto your toe pick at any point. And then a rotational lift. This is not as pleasing as Domnina and Shabalin's, but their straight line lift at the end, the balance, right on the ribs, that hurts. After a while, a lot of practice, you have to be really careful with how you practice these moves.
You do it a lot off the ice before you get on. Yeah. Okay, now in the kiss and cry, and familiar coaches there, Linichuk and Karponosov, over 50 for each of the two numbers. So 101.12, and certainly into the lead with the top team still to come. Denkova and Stavisky overtake the Russians at the top by almost 5 points. So it's down to the final team. They're getting into the mood. World silver medalists from Canada, Dubray and Lausanne. Back here in St. Petersburg, the Neva River and, the Church on Spilled Blood looking sharp there here in this great city. A reminder, the Ole ISU Figure Skating European Championships come your way February 4th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The top names in Europe. The Russians included in that, but here are the Bulgarians, the current leaders. They're going to wait, watch, see if they stay on the top step with the gold medal. And they'll be watching Marie-France Dubray, Patrice Lauzon from Canada, who had the slim lead after the original dance. Remember, just about 0.3 of a point, so that's extremely close. They also won 2 gold medals in the series. They won Skate Canada, and they won the NHK Trophy. Their best season yet.
Their story, the last dance at their wedding reception.
If you didn't know it, you do by now after the shot going to the break. They are a couple away from the ice. Won 2 gold medals last year in the series and the bronze at the Grand Prix final. They've stepped it up this year, though. This has been their best effort. Coming together as a team even more. And Marie falling out of that twizzle sequence. Do they look as secure as you've gotten used to?
They're a little cautious. And that happens when you start to make tiny mistakes, a little tripping in there. Once that starts to happen, it sort of carries on throughout.
Clearly not as sharp as we have seen throughout the Grand Prix series.
Well, I have to agree, but there's sentimental favorites for the audience, for me. They can tell a story, and they're soulful. And you sort of forgive that, but I don't think that the judges will.
You don't? You think the Bulgarians will win?
I do in this case.
All right, we'll check their marks and see who wins the gold medal. Back inside the Ice Palace here in St. Petersburg, Russia. The Grand Prix final presented by Olay.
Their lifts are exceptional, some of the best in the business, if not the best. A beautiful lift because of the balance. Their height difference allows them to really capture some interesting styles and shapes. And a reverse rotational, it begins in one direction. He's holding her by just one hand, changes hold here, she changes hold as well. And those rotational lifts really get going. They're very hard to exit out of. This is where they had problems on the second set of twizzles. Watch Marie-France, she's not able to complete the rotation, really gets off of the hip and the foot that she's rotating over. And then it was a bit cautious from then on there. But not in the combination lift. Beautiful control, positioning. And a little more kissing, Terry.
Yeah, they had plenty of that going in and on the ice, too. But was it enough? The bobbles there with the twizzle you mentioned, and it's a takeaway. Let's see. The Bulgarians are on top, and those numbers clearly not as good as the Bulgarians. 1 point deduction for what? Too long of a lift?
Well, they didn't fall, so it's the only other thing that it could be.
So Dubreuil and Lausanne settle for the silver medal. It's the Bulgarians, first team from Bulgaria. They're getting used to that. They won the World Championships. Now they're the first to win the Grand Prix final. On top, Denkova and Stavisky. Dubreuil and Lausanne, then Domnina and Shabalin from Russia settle for the bronze. 161.24 the number for the gold medalist, and they are standing by now with Peter Carruthers. Peter?
Albana, Max, what were you telling yourself before that music started?
We were very confident today. We enjoy our free dance. We know already that the audience enjoy it a lot, which makes it very easy to skate as well. And of course, it's easier to skate second than last always. So we were excited. We were waiting.
Max, very quickly, you like to make history. First time Bulgarians won at the World Championships in ice dancing. Now first time here at the Grand Prix final. What does it mean to you?
It means that we have to win the European Championship now to continue this tradition.
That's the next step. Well, congratulations here.
Thank you.
Very nice. Never satisfied. Well, here, the arts, ballet, a respected part of the culture here in Russia. 6 champions, 6 events for the ladies. They'll take the stage when we come back, searching for gold at the Grand Prix final. There in front of the church. We welcome you back inside the Ice Palace. One discipline left here at the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final, presented by Olay. The ladies on the ice set to go in the race for the gold medal. Terry Gannon joined by Susie Wynn, Paul Wiley, and Peter Carruthers. And those qualifying for the final after those 6 events all around the globe, these are the 6 names. Japan well represented here. 3 of the 6 are from Japan. A little insight into what's going on in ladies skating. And another youngster, Yuna Kim from South Korea, also part of the mix. Joanie Rochette, Kimi Meisner, not here. And to get things underway, Fumie Seguri in 5th place after the short. There's her number, 55-14. Certainly the veteran here. At the age of 25, the 5-time Japanese champ won a couple of silver medals in the series this year. She struggled in the short program, though.
Very strong opening triple Lutz double toe loop, very well timed.
She helped pave the way for the rest of the lady skaters from Japan. World silver medalist this last time around, came in 4th at the Olympics, but it's been a continual struggle the last 3 years or so, technically, to keep up with the others.
Well, not only that, but she also has consistency issues.
Triple Lutz, you can see that clock in the corner tells you the halfway mark is right now at 2 minutes when she would get the bonus, but she did it before, so she won't get the bonus. Not smart planning. She follows it up with a triple flip double toe combination. She just missed the podium in Torino last year. She was in tears. I think that is the toughest place to be, in 4th at an Olympic Games.
Double Salchow there where she intended to do a triple.
And if a Miki Ando or a Mawasada, Yuna Kim, they might be able to get away with that, Fumie Seguri can't. The margin of error is much smaller for her.
And that's because she doesn't have the triple-triple combinations or the triple axel like Mawasada, higher value jumps. She's lost 3 out of 7 of her jumping passes, and they're relatively simple.
She has so many fine qualities, but mistakes sprinkled throughout.
Paul, where is she in her career right now? What do you think?
Well, I think she's looking back on the best part of it with 8 World Championships and 2 Olympic Games, last year being in 4th place. I think she's had a tremendous career. She won this event in 2004, but you know, the sport is definitely moving on. Triple Lutz double toe combination. This she did very well. But remember, you're going to see triple flip, triple loop from Mawasada, the triple triples and the triple axel. Here's a triple toe, completely missed in the beginning of the program. You just cannot afford to do that mistake.
And then recovery here at the end of the program. Great height on this triple flip, picks back into a double toe loop with a very nice run out.
She was well back after the short program, more than 14 points off the lead and almost 10 points out of 3rd place, a podium spot, technical elements, and that's why they're low, 48-12.
Jumps reflect that, the lack of.
Yeah, and if you're in the 40s, it's tough to challenge for that top spot. 103.64. So right now, at least, Fumie Siguri is on top of the leaderboard. Don't expect that to hold, though. Coming up, the 5-time Swiss national champ could be the first Swiss woman to win the Grand Prix final. She won Cup of Russia. Sarah Myers next. I had da, niet, and spasiba. Now we add what? Snovum Gordom, right?
Yeah, and all I've got is pushli, which means let go.
You know how to say let go?
That's it, let's go.
Oh, let's go. I got you. Asada, Ando, let's go. From Japan, ahead of Yuna Kim, Sarah Meyer, and we just saw Fumie Siguri's effort in the free skate. The ladies' gold medal on the line after the trip around the globe just to make it here to St. Petersburg. And Sarah Meyer, the 22-year-old, trying to become the first lady skater from Switzerland to win this event. She won Cup of Russia, and that was after a 4th place finish at Skate America. So she really scrambled just to make it here.
Maybe it's a surprise of being here, but she skated really well in the short program, very clean. She has great spins like most Swiss. And here's a beautiful triple Lutz double toe, double loop, 3-jump combination.
Triple so far. She's really settling so well into this program.
Very expressive choreography done by Salome Brunner, who is also Stefan Lambiel's choreographer. Stefan, of course, the world champion from Switzerland.
Lambiel not here, Kimi Meisner not here. The only world champ here, Denkova and Stavisky. you're a skater like Sarah Meyer, Susie, and no one expected you to get here, I would imagine it would be a bit odd when you first arrive at the arena. But she does have the positive images in her head of Russia. She just won an event in Moscow, Cup of Russia.
And coming off of a great event like that gives you so much confidence. She's a skater that has battled injury, and this season not having to fight against any injuries has really led to her confidence, her training.
A little bit of pain in her ankles after Skate America. Wondered if that was the boots, but it's taken care of now. Sarah Meyer earning her spot here at the Grand Prix final, and really not far back. I mean, a little less than 10 points off the lead, but less than 6 out of 3rd place after the short program. Realistic chances to make it to the podium.
She opened with that 3-jump combination, the triple Lutz double toe, double loop, which was very smooth, very nicely done. Great air position and good ride out. Then here, the triple flip double toe, she followed it up with as well. So this was a great beginning. She did, though, have 2 pop jumps.
A nice low back sit spin position off of the flying spin. Her clasp hands there, making the position more difficult.
So we'll check the numbers. There's her personal best, 111.41. So the technical and the program components, she looks pretty happy with this effort. 110.82, didn't match that, but that's solid and puts her in the lead. So Sarah Meyer is atop the leaderboard so far in the ladies free skate. But the top gun still to come, including the 16-year-old from South Korea. Yoona Kim is next. In Spokane, tell us your first name as well. On the ice, set to go, Yoona Kim, the reigning junior world champ, not only helping to create a sense of excitement about her sport in her home country, she's helping to create it there.
피겨스케이팅 하면 모르는 사람이 대부분인데 이번에 제가 이제 성적을 많이 올리면서 많은 사람들이 피겨스케이팅에 대해서 많이 알게 됐어요. 만 5살 때
When I was 5, there was a new ice rink around the house, and one day I visited there. There were coaches there that suggested I become a skater.
10살 때
At age 10, I landed 4 triples at once.
이제 가족들 생각도 나고.
When I won Junior Worlds last year, I thought of my family and my skating. I had had such heavy training and working so hard. I was happy.
조금 부담도 되긴 하고 제가
Sometimes it's hard now because many people have expectations now for my skating.
학교는 아침에
I usually do studies on my own. I practice in the mornings and the evenings, so there's no time to go to school.
우선 다른 팀들이
I envy the other teams that are getting together, playing around. I envy that. I want to have a bigger team, more skaters from Korea.
프로 사람들이 가장 좋아하고 기억에 오랫동안 남는 선수가 되고 싶어요.
Certainly someone we've heard of before. I mean, leading up to this year, you heard a lot about Yoona Kim. This year we got an up-close and personal look all season long. Coming in here, though, bit of a back injury. She's had her back taped because she strained it. We'll see if that affects her here in the free skate. Right now in 3rd place, a little more than 4 points off the lead.
Yoona Kim has a beautiful lyrical style, but she's also quite an athlete and opens with a very difficult triple-triple combination worth more than a quad, the triple flip, triple toe loop. Beautifully executed. The music is The Lark Ascending by Ralph Vaughan Williams, choreographed by David Wilson.
see very comfortable and settled in her upper body. And she's able to have continuous flow. Nothing slows her blade down.
Halfway point in the program, 10% bonus after this. Great rivalry already developing between Yuna Kim and Mao Asada. Asada won the World Junior Championships in '05. Yuna Kim came back to win them in 2006. And the South Korean also won the Junior Grand Prix final last season.
She's having trouble with a double axel today. Could be because she's had 5 pairs of boots this season. It's very important for a skater to get comfortable in their shoes, literally. But all of the other jumps have been spot on. That triple sow cow double toe loop will earn a bonus as well.
This young lady is so well trained. Not at any point did she look tired. The difficulty, 5 beautiful triple jumps.
And it all passed so quickly. I think that's the sign of a great program when it's just like, is it already over? That was beautiful.
Yuna Kim with a very good effort here in the free skate.
She started off with a triple flip, triple toe. I mentioned it was 9.5 points. The air position very good. Again, good speed coming out of it. A slight wrap at the end, but wonderful quality. Her camel spin, you can see the layover position here, very difficult. And then she twists to grab her leg and pull it to her ear. Beautiful position.
And the 3-jump combination, the deep left outside edge right there for the triple Lutz jump. She picks back for the double toe loop and then an edge jump, the loop. It's very hard to maintain speed with those combinations. And the jump that she struggled with throughout this free program, the double axel, a clean edge takeoff for her, making it more difficult.
Imagine that rivalry with Mao Asada, but also throw Kimi Meisner in the mix, who didn't make it to the Grand Prix final here, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch over the next 5, 6, 7 years. Technical elements over 61, almost 62. So 119.14, and Yuna Kim is your new leader. Yuna Kim, Saramaya, Fumie Saguri. But the top 2 from Japan still to come. Miki Ando, the 2-time Japanese champ. There she's with Nikolai Morozov, her choreographer and also one of her coaches. Earlier today in the practice session, look at what she was doing. How about a little quad coming your way?
A little under-rotated, but at least she's going for it.
You're such a killjoy.
I'm sorry.
Go with the story here. No, it is, a little bit. And she's not going to do it here in the free skate. Next competition, she tells us, she'll skate for gold, though, when we come back. Here for the Senior Grand Prix final in St. Petersburg, but recently in Sofia, Bulgaria. How about the U.S. at the Junior Grand Prix final? They swept the gold medals, including one of the great names in all of sports, Rockne Brubaker in pairs, Susie Wynn.
Named after Newt Rockne.
Great name. The U.S. won 9 of 12 medals in Sofia, Bulgaria. So the future does look bright for the U.S. in terms of that. But on the ice right now, Miki Ando from Japan in second place after the short program, 1.82 points off the lead. So it's pretty darn close. The 18-year-old who's about to turn 19 won Skate America, great performance there, and then won the silver medal at Grand Prix of Paris.
Like Yuna Kim, she opens with a triple-triple combination. Triple Lutz, triple loop. Oh, single Lutz. I don't have to tell you that that leaves a lot of points on the table.
I think that she approaches her jumps faster than any of the other ladies.
Triple flip. Oh, single. That's about 5 points base value that she's losing each time.
Plus, Susie, I would imagine you just lose all sense of where you are in your program, what you're doing out there.
It's very hard to stay on track, to keep that focus, and to really keep wanting to have a good performance. Right at the halfway mark.
Another single toe loop.
Paul, as great as we've seen her skate, I mean, Skate America at the beginning of the season was just a tremendous performance. And another one, how does something like this happen?
I don't have a great answer for that, Terry, because she was also very strong in the short program. She did a triple Lutz, triple loop there. You know, sometimes you just lose confidence and start rushing your timing. But really, I mean, you should be able to see it through to a double, probably.
Yeah. And the face says it all. Nikki Ando, who was in second place after the short program, you wonder if she can even hang around for the podium. Perhaps not. Mao Asada, the defending Grand Prix final champ, takes the ice when we come back. Miki Ando, after that performance, being consoled by her coach, Nikolai Morozov, and she will not make the podium here at the final. Currently in 4th place. Everything just seemed to fall apart for her. Yoona Kim, though, your current leader, the 16-year-old from South Korea, could become the first skater from Korea to win a championship at this level. Down to the final skater on the ice, Mao Asada. And again, their terrific rivalry has begun very early in life. Still teenagers, and they've gone head-to-head. Look at this. Kim won the 2006 Junior Worlds. Asada's got her by one, though. She won the 05 Junior Worlds and the 04 Junior Grand Prix. So it's 2-1 right now. And the 16-year-old from Nagoya comes off one of the great performances we've seen numbers-wise. In fact, overall, total-wise, 199.52 at the NHK Trophy a few weeks ago. The best that we have seen with the new scoring system. Even better than anything Slutskaya or Sasha Cohen have posted. So here she is, the leader after the short by less than 2 points. Mao Asada, living now in Lake Arrowhead, California.
Mao is one of 6 ladies in the world who's ever performed a triple axel in international competition. And she opens with that jump right here. Oh, fall. She just did not punch her knee through and use her arms to get up and over it. Stayed behind it a little bit. Triple. Oh. Another mistake, doesn't get down under it.
Mao and Yoona have, we know what they have technically, the triples, Mao having the triple axel, but what astounds me about both of them is their maturity in movement and understanding of music at such young ages.
It's exciting to see this rivalry developing, and I was surprised when I saw the graphic at how few times they've actually met head-to-head. They've really only ever had once a year encounters, so, and at a junior level. So now we can see this rivalry develop with Kimi Meisner, pushing the sport in higher and higher directions. Oh.
Well, once she won the NHK Trophy, she became the 6th different winner of a gold medal in the series this year for the ladies. Even though her lead was a little under 2 points, she had a lead of more than 4 points over Yoona Kim.
Program, a very difficult 3-jump combination plan, triple Lutz. She opts not to make that a combination.
It's very difficult to come off of a fall on your first jump, especially the triple axel, when you think that everyone's expecting you to land it. But what you really have to do is be able to put it behind you and focus on the rest of the performance.
Not what Mawasada was looking for here, but we'll see what the judges think. We'll check her marks and see who wins the gold medal next. Down to this, Yoona Kim, the current leader, watching as the marks are about to come up for Mawasada.
Difficult to get the arms to wait long enough and to come through with the knee. She just does not have the air position, and she's a bit tilted, not enough rotation. The double axel, triple toe, she handles just fine. Good air position there, nice reach back into the triple toe. Little two-footed maybe.
She wasn't able to hit the timing for her combination. She wanted this to be in combination with the loop, and she was just not able to spring and get underneath that jump. And then the nerve set in. The triple Lutz just tilted in the air, dropping that right side, not able to stay over her skates.
Now, there's no question Kim was better in the free skate, but remember, Mawasada had a lead over her, more than 4 points after the short, 48-14. That's well below, though, what we saw. Mandatory 2-point deduction for the falls, 103.18, and that's not even close. Mawasada with a frown on her face because she's got to settle for the silver medal right now. You look for that silver lining, but there's really not one after the performance. There is for Yoona Kim, though, the first skater from South Korea to win the Grand Prix final gold medal. She won the junior title a year ago. Now she wins with a total of 184.20 over Mawasada and Sarah Meyer. Peter?
Yoona Kim, you are the champion of the Grand Prix final. What does this mean?
I didn't expect this because I was injured. I don't really know what to think about it. I can't believe what just happened. I can't think of anything right now. Although I felt the injury prevented me from being completely prepared, I'm just glad that it didn't affect my performance.
Great performance for Yoona Kim, as we told you, the first skater from Korea to win this title, and there should be many, many more for her. Well, as we told you earlier, Olympic silver medalist Don Zhang was sent to the hospital after experiencing chills, a rapid heartbeat, numbness in her fingers following the pairs competition. Peter Carruthers has learned from a Chinese judge and team official the blood test showed she was low on calcium and potassium and therefore felt weak. She'll spend the night in the hospital and undergo further examination at home in China. We wish her our best. Join us again when we travel to Spokane, Washington for the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Coverage gets underway January 25th on ESPN2. Catch on ABC with the ladies live January 27th. So after our whirlwind trip around the world, the Grand Prix Series ending up at the final here in St. Petersburg. For Susie Wynn, Peter Carruthers, Paul Wiley, I'm Terry Gannon. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Brian Joubert's mom, happy with her boy tonight. So long, everybody, from St. Petersburg.